Okay, firstly, we go to introduction of law. In any society, everybody is subject to the law. Everybody must do as the law says or face the punishment which can be handed out to law breakers. Journalists are no different. They too must obey the laws of their society. Societies have law in order to protect people from the action of other people. It is clearly impossible for everybody in any society to have absolute freedom. As one person exercises that freedom, it will trample upon somebody else's freedom. The law puts limit on each person's freedom in order to protect other people's freedom. In order to make people obey the laws of the society, there have to be punishment. There are many different legal systems in the world, traditional and modern. Christian and Islamic and they regulate society in different ways. However, the reason the laws are there at all the same to limit people's right in certain ways, in others to protect other people's right and to punish those who ignore the laws. Now, we go to definition of law. Law is a rule of conduct developed by the government or society over a certain territory. Law follows certain practice and custom in order to deal with crime.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhazila binti Mazlain. I will present about education. Right, so education describes the legal process that help expedite and deliver a court resolution regarding an issue between two parties. So the result of the process is a judgment, court opinion that is legally binding. Okay, so most adjudication hearing center and dispute that involve money or non-violent infraction and result in the distribution of right and obligation for all parties involved. So this legal differs from other justice seeking or evidence-based court cases. Alright, so in Malaysia, adjudication is initiated by a written notice setting out the nature of the dispute and remedy required. An application of the appointment of adjudication is made to a single nomination body, which is the Kuala Lumpur Regional Centre for Arbitration, its mean KLRCA. Right, so the adjudication claim must be served within 10 working days of receipt of acceptance of the appointment by the adjudicator. Then the responding party then has 10 days to serve a written response, and the claimant may within 5 working days from receipt of any response served or reply. Then the supporting document are attached to each of the submission. Alright, so next country is Sri Lanka. The adjudication process is provided for the condition of contract, giving rise to an ADR process called contractual adjudication. In the Sri Lanka context, there is no statute governing adjudication state above. Alright, so as we know, in the Sri Lanka context, there is no statute governing adjudication as stated above. Hence, at present in the Sri Lanka context, one would not encounter statutory adjudication as well as complication arising out both parties opting to adjudicate under different education on the same matter, giving rise to situation where there could be two adjudication on the same matter simultaneously. Alright, so let's take a look about equity. So equity means fairness and is the body of rule developed first by the Lord Chancellor and by the Old Court of Chancery in the end of the 15th century. Equity, unlike the common law, it is not a complete body. So, which can exist on its own, and it merely filled the gap in the common law and softened the strict rules of common law. So in Malaysia, English law form part of the law of Malaysia. English law can be found in the English common law and rules of equity. Common law and law of equity in Malaysia should be developed and amended according to the local needs. In addition, these two laws should also take into account of changes in this law in England. Alright, so in India, it has been provided by the Hindu law. Hindu law has never been static and has consequently introduced equitable principles to meet the exigencies of the time. The writers Smrikaras, namely Narada and Brihaspati, has categorically acknowledged the importance of equitable principles. These principles can be called principles of equity. Kautilya also provide that if the Dharma text is found opposed to judicial reason, it fails, and there the authority of the reason prevails. Thank you. So I will pass to my friend. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, madam. My name is Siti Nofarang binti Indra. So our topic is the source of law. So there are few functions that the few function of law. So the first one is to solve the conflict that occur between us. So the law has established a formal settlement route that is through the court system. So criminal activities such as killing, stealing, and others shall be restricted by laws that have been enacted by the legislature because the community has determined that it will not tolerate certain behaviors that would damage their people or property. So the law has also established to define human rights. So the first source of law is custom. So at the beginning of human civilization, the life of the people by customs and their customary practice and cultures. Generally, customary laws is relating to the law in the family. So in Malaysia, there are two types of customary law, which is adat pepatih and adat temenggung. So these customary laws are based on patrilineal system with trace of Hindu elements. So in the other country is I choose Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka they have a Kandyan laws, which is laws from the kingdom of Kandy, which applies in Sri Lanka, who are Buddhist and from the former province of Kandyan kingdom. So the second one is Diga marriage. So Next source of law is religion. So as we know, religion is a most important source of law. This law has been established by the divine law. So everyone believes that whoever violates the law, they will receive a consequence. So in Malaysia is known as a country with multiracial race and religion, but the most important religion in Malaysia is the Islamic religion, which this religion is the main religion in our country. So for another country, I will choose India, because religion in India is characterized by a variety of religious belief and practice. So India is officially a secular state and has no permanent religion. But I think the most main religion in India is Hindu maybe, yes. Yeah, so that's it. Religion from India. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Legislation. Legislation is a written law. Legislation refers to the law that is established by the parliament at federal level and by the state legislative assembly at the state level. In Malaysia, legislation is included with the Strait Settlement Compromise of Penang, Singapore, Malacca, and was a British colony under direct British administration. The characters of justice introduced and applied English law and established Court of Justice. In India, legislation is also known as statutory law. It's the basic structure of present legal system of India. Statutory law are based on statute enacted and imposed by the legislature. Conclusion. The law can be acquired from various sources. Example, source of law are custom, religion, adjudication, or judicial decision, equity, and legislation. As we know, law affects every aspect of our life. It governs our conduct from the cradle to the grave and influence even extend from before our birth to after our death. The law is important because it acts as a guideline as to what it accepts in society. That's all from me. Thank you.